Hello there, and welcome to the Out of Time Film Podcast, where we talk film and TV like there's no tomorrow. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host, John.
G'day.
Good day indeed.
I'm not Australian if you're just listening for the first time, but yeah.
How dare you?
Podcast.
Yeah, I feel like we got a good. I feel like we got a good intro going now. We're
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
So yes, well, welcome to another episode. Hope everyone is doing well. Before we start, I just want to say thank you for all the support on our last episode where we talked about the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. That video
Which I haven't seen.
Which John hasn't seen, yes. But that video has become our second most viewed video. So thank you all so much for all your support there. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about the original Mulan and Mandalorian Chapter 13, which we're very excited to get into. As always, there are time codes in the description. And let's get into the news. First of all, John, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. Yeah, I just can't wait to discuss about Chapter 13 in this podcast.
Oh, I got an email.
And yeah, there was not anything new, really. So yeah, what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm also very excited to talk about it. It's going to be interesting. I'm most interesting to talk about it with someone who is unfamiliar with the Clone Wars and Rebels. So that's what I'm most looking forward to.
I was also familiar with Rebels as well. So
yeah. So right, let's get into it. So our first piece of casting news is this has kind of been like a 3-week thing.
Oh boy, casting news.
Yeah, your favourite casting news. We've kind of had a 3-week kind of thing here. Like 2 weeks ago, it was announced that Johnny Depp would be leaving Fantastic Beasts, and then last week there were the rumours that Mads Mikkelsen, who is obviously in Rogue One and Hannibal and Casino Royale and Doctor Strange, will be playing.
He's a great actor.
He is a great actor. And there were rumours last week that he is in talks to replace Depp as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts 3, and now it's been officially announced by wizardingworld.com, which is where like all the main news comes from, that he is going to be replacing him in the role. I think that he is the perfect replacement.
Yes, I agree. Because he can do like what Depp does.
Yeah, he's good at playing villains. You know, he's done it a few times. He's good at it. You know, I think he's Swedish, so that's the same. And I think Grindelwald is from Sweden or somewhere, maybe Holland, somewhere like close to that region. So it's better than having an American actor play him. But yeah, I think that this is great news.
Yeah.
Our next piece of news, John, have you seen any of the new Godzilla films or King Kong films? So we've had Godzilla, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and Kong Skull Island.
Wait, does Kong the Skull Island still count?
Yeah, that's the second one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a new like monster universe thing that they're trying out. I mean, who knows if it will work? But
the monster universe. Ooh.
The fourth film in this kind of series is Godzilla versus Kong. They're gonna have them, face. And yeah, it seems like.
Wait. Can you stop there? What you said? They're gonna go face. You just finish that. You go. They're going face to face in this final showdown. WWE. We're not talking about WWE.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it. This is a WWE total wrestling. They're gonna do all the moves. They're gonna get all the wrestlers. Oh my god, they should have John Cena and The Rock do mocap.
Yeah, go again. Its name is John Cena.
No, his name is Godzilla. That was terrible. I'm sorry.
What about so we got Kong and then we got Kong. What's the Rock's thing?
I don't even.
What's the saying?
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? It's like, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? Something like that.
Oh, Godzilla was cooking.
Godzilla's making a lovely little soup.
Yeah, that soup.
Ooh, making
that
some
little
nuclear soup.
Tomato fish and salt. I don't know what I just said. But,
made with premium nuclear energy.
I know it's not war, but yeah.
So do you think you're going to watch this film?
I'm not sure because, again, it's filled with special effects.
Yeah, sorry, just repeat all that again.
You want me to repeat that again?
Yes, I did. We had some technical issues there.
Okay, so what? I'm not going to see this film because it might make the story bad, or they're just gonna go like a very long time of fighting, like the buildings getting destroyed. Oh no!
Yeah.
Everything.
I know what you mean. There isn't much like, there's no like emotional like stakes really from these two kaiju monsters.
Yeah.
Having seen the other 3 films in the series, they're all fine. Yeah, they're, nothing really special. But the news is that this film is possibly going to go to streaming. So, do you think it will increase the chances of you watching it if it comes out on Netflix or something else?
Maybe. Not too sure. But it's not on the big screen though.
Yeah, like if it's all these like special effects and such a big, possibly an IMAX spectacle.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And if it's going to streaming services, I give it a go. Maybe I'll just see what it's like.
Oh, maybe watch it for the pod. Who knows?
Watch it for the pod.
Watch it for the pod. So Elizabeth Olsen has just finished filming WandaVision, which will be coming to Disney Plus on the 15th of January.
Wait. Finished?
Yeah, she just finished filming.
Just, like, now?
Yeah, like this week.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that is strange, because it's coming out in January, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It seems very late to be finishing, but hey-ho, you never know. It might have just been, like, pick-up shots.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Speaking of things being strange, she is now going straight on to filming Doctor Strange 2, which is also in production, apparently. I did not know that it was in production at all.
Wait, yeah, I did not know that either. I was just like, oh, already? Why hasn't Marvel talked about this?
Yeah, so currently, Doctor Strange is slated for a 2022 release date, 25th of March. So that's 3 weeks after the Batman comes out, actually. So yeah, this is... It seems... I mean, on one hand it seems soon, on the other hand it seems late. I don't really know when it should have started filming, but we don't really know much about this film, so...
very much, yeah.
So
next month we are going to see photos from sets of the Spider-Verse?
Yeah,
Spider-Man 3
Spider-Man 3, apparently we're going to get our first look at it in December, so that's cool.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, but if they're filming Doctor Strange, I wonder what we will see from behind the scenes things,
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll start to get our first kind of feel of the film. Speaking of things starting filming, the Hawkeye TV show has just started filming in New York City.
Wait. Now?
So this, yeah, now. So this show is, it seems to be based around Clint and Kate Bishop, who is, I think she is, if I believe it correctly, she is a young, like, female protege of Hawkeye.
Yes,
I don't know much about
first
her.
I thought it was the daughter.
Yeah, no, it's not the daughter. This is a totally different person. But it seems like Haley Steinfeld might be playing her. Steinfeld, who
actually, maybe she would actually fit. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, well, she's not a stranger to superhero films. She was in Spider-Verse as Gwen Stacy. She was she's done other blockbusters like Bumblebee. She's in the Pitch Perfect films. So she has proven herself to be a pretty good actress.
Yeah, the Pitch Perfect films are very good films.
Those definitely have nostalgic value.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Is she in the third one? I'm not sure she's in the third one.
She's in the second one and the third one. I haven't seen the third one, but she's in it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So, that's the news. Not much to talk about this week, but
that is like the first time we ever done a news coverage of the film industry. So
well, yeah, we did it like in 10 minutes as well. So Bang.
That is a world record.
We're on fire. So yeah, let's talk about The Mandalorian Chapter 13.
Oh,
now, first of all,
we're gonna have a long time talking about this.
We are. There's a lot to unpack here. First of all, full spoilers. So you know,
full spoilers.
There's a lot of stuff
we're gonna talk about every second of the Mandalorian episode, which is filled with stuff that is so cool.
Filled with great stuff. Now let's start. And I just want to say, as the resident Clone Wars and Rebels fan, as the resident person who Ahsoka is my favourite character in all of Star Wars, I loved this episode, and I thought it was awesome. I loved how it connected to things, but didn't connect too much, and it progressed the story, and the action was great, and they cast Ahsoka really well. And yeah, I loved it. Now, John, as someone who hasn't seen Clone Wars or Rebels, what did you think?
I loved it. Yeah, I know those references that she was talking about, like Admiral Thrawn at the end of the episode, where she was talking to the person who was in charge of the camp. I'm not sure
the magistrate.
But it was an epic fight. But to like Admiral Thrawn, I was like, oh right, so he was in Rebels. I've heard that name in the Rebels, so I was just like, I need to get into more in the Clone Wars and everything. But
I mean, it would have been.
I like those references to Rebels and Clone Wars, and in the films in Star Wars, like the new sequels, they didn't like go back to referencing or going back to like think about the other TV shows. Maybe they'll connect with like the Clone Wars or Rebels, even everything. But what I like about this episode is that they go way back to the stuff that in Rebels, and like talking about like Ahsoka and like you know what I mean,
this show, especially this season, has been really good at tying in all aspects of the universe. Like, we literally started with Chapter 9 this season, and they were like, oh yeah, here's a small character from the books that only some people will know. And they made it work for everyone. Even with Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, if you haven't seen Clone Wars and Rebels, it's still great, It doesn't matter. And I think in general, this show does that really, really well. Yeah,
and it's just references to the books as well, so... I'm actually really happy about this season, It's just filled with surprises, actually. So,
I agree. I think straight off the bat, I really enjoyed the first scene of Ahsoka in the woods, in the fog.
Yes.
Cutting, like the white lightsabers, which she uses in Rebels. Brilliant to see them, from... They don't...
The lightsabers just look so realistic, doesn't it? Like,
the lightsabers look great, yeah.
Yeah, and like, I know a lot about the Clone Wars and everything about like Ahsoka in it, but I don't know much about it. But I know what she's like because I watched it when I was younger. But I completely forgot about the stuff sometimes. But the cool thing about it is that she's got two lightsabers, which she used in a fight against. I'm not sure if this is a spoiler, but Darth Maul, I think.
No, that's incorrect. So in Clone Wars, she uses two green lightsabers. She eventually loses them, and when she fights Maul, she uses blue ones, which she also gives up in order to hide her identity. And then in Rebels, she uses white sabers, which she uses to fight Vader, eventually.
I vaguely remember that.
So there's it's really cool that it connects to all that. Obviously, this episode is directed and written by Dave Filoni, who
the legendary director.
He is incredible. He's directed before in The Mandalorian. He still has some stuff to fix. Like, his live action directing isn't perfect. There are some things that I think he could change. But he's doing really well for his third live-action directorial feature. But he does great stuff, especially in his writing for Clone Wars and Rebels. As you said, he unlike some of the makers of the films, he remembers everything from all different aspects and ties it all in a really, really cool way. So yeah, one of the big things this episode gave us was a name for the child. It's not the base.
I was. So a lot of people on Twitter and Instagram, they were just complaining about it. I don't know why, but it just fits so perfectly into the name, really.
Yeah. Well, okay. So obviously, Jon Favreau has always said, like, very passionately that his name is, like, don't call it Baby Yoda because, you know, he has an actual name and people won't accept it when we reveal the name. And I feel like that's what's happening. People aren't accepting it because they're so married to this name. So his name is Grogu, which is what he should be called. And I just want to point out that I think it is going to take people a while to get used to this. Because, you know, at the end of last season, you know, it was revealed that the Mandalorian's name is Din Djarin, but everyone still calls him the Mandalorian. You know, it doesn't really change much, I don't think.
Yeah, but when the people, when I'm talking to people about the Mandalorian, like last night, I was texting my friend, and she hasn't seen the Mandalorian, so I was like, "Oh, the Mandalorian's pretty cool," and then I didn't want to say his name, like the actual name.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, "Yeah, he's pretty cool," and then I had to say, "Baby Yoda." I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry. But
if you're just joining us, John has been fired from the podcast for calling him the filthy name Baby.
Can I get my meat, please?
No, I'm keeping the meat. I'm sorry.
Tom, you betrayed me. I'm sorry. So,
you were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them.
So, I didn't want to spoil anything for it, but she wants to watch it now.
There's a lot, exactly. I know what you mean. Like,
I'm pretty excited to talk about it on Wednesday.
She's got stuff to watch. She should watch actual Star Wars first, just for, you know, because But yeah, I do know many people who either
watch some Star Wars. I think.
Yeah, we do know. I know quite a few people who don't really know the Mandalorian or don't know Star Wars, and when talking about it, I just try to preserve the viewing experience because I wouldn't say it's a spoiler. The name of the Mandalorian or the child. They're not like people. They're not people we already know. It's not like the child was actually like Yaddle the whole time, or the Mandalorian was Snoke. Like, it doesn't actually matter. But in terms of like preserving the experience for people who haven't seen it, I do think that, you know, it's worth still referring to them as the Mandalorian and the child.
So let's go from the start of the episode and.
So we've covered the fight scene.
Yeah, so the fight scene and then the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Din and Grogu, my guys.
It's a really cute name.
I agree. I like the name. I'm a fan.
No! Sorry. I sneezed.
Was that... Wow, I thought that was a cartoon sneeze. That was proper...
Really?
Yeah, that was proper,
like... a proper cartoon sneeze?
Proper cartoon sneeze, yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff.
I am a cartoon.
You are. It's true. No one can see you, so no one knows. You're actually just disembodied voice floating in the nether regions.
Ooh.
Very nice.
So, yeah, what I loved... so... They were going to the place. I forgot the place called.
The forests of Korvax.
Korvax.
Yes, so the planet.
But anyway,
it wasn't what I expected. I expected it to be like a much like healthier forest, not such like a dead place.
Yes. But what I really liked about it is that he goes through this terrifying. Camp where people just don't talk to each other.
Yeah, it's pretty.
They get tortured by this woman, and then he goes through this little place, this little garden.
Yes,
I like that because it just juxtaposes.
Juxtaposes. Yes,
I can't say it right. I can't say it right.
Juxtaposes. I got you back.
Juxtaposes. There we go. Juxtaposes with like the empty forest and just dead, really, but it's like
very much like so Dave Filoni worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I saw someone pointed out that it was very similar to Ba Sing Se, which is a city in that series which where it's like the people really suffer, but then like the people in charge have like these like really nice like houses and stuff. So it's very much like that, similarities to things like Blade Runner.
I like that. So what in this episode, the woman had, she had she had this Beskar.
Yeah, she had a Beskar spear.
The Beskar spear.
And now what I want to say about that is...
That's going to be used later.
Yes, that this episode confirmed that Beskar can block a lightsaber. And
that's interesting.
And, we have that with the Mandalorian using his gauntlets, or Din, should I say. Din uses his gauntlets to block Ahsoka's lightsabers. The woman uses the spear to block Ahsoka's lightsabers. So I'm thinking that now that Din has the spear, maybe that means that Din is going to go toe-to-toe with Moff Gideon and the Darksaber at some point.
Yeah.
Because now he can.
How powerful is the Darksaber is like, so...
Yeah, because the Darksaber is pretty much just another lightsaber. It's it's that simple, and I think that that is like what it's gonna be used for. Like maybe not even this season, but I do think that this gives Din a way to fight Moff Gideon, because they're gonna have to interact at some point.
They're gonna have an epic battle. What I mean?
I know what you mean.
1-to-1 and just
Yeah,
carry on. So then we go through the forest. Again, the special effects and
looks
the way
great.
they've done it is brilliant. And then there was like a battle between Ahsoka and then Din.
Yeah, that was quite it's interesting because in Rebels they talk about the history between the Mandalorians and the Jedi. And they talk about how the Mandalorians specifically made their armor to fight Jedi. And you can see that in this battle. He uses his grappling hook, he uses his flamethrower, he uses various methods that he has in order to defeat Ahsoka. It doesn't work, obviously, because it's Ahsoka, but, you see that he is equipped to deal with people with a lightsaber, even before he has the spear.
Yeah. So, there was a lot of... So the first time that Ahsoka just talks to Grogu, I was
yeah, she really has. It's interesting because this episode gave us Grogu's background. Like now we know that Grogu was at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, and then he was there pretty much from birth, and he was and he managed to escape when Order 66 happened. So this changes like a lot of what we knew about him. Like he's no longer just a child with the Force. He is now, he was there in the prequel era. He was at Coruscant at the temple. Like that's very interesting.
Yeah. Wait. So in the span of 50 years, wait, is that right? Because he's 50 years old.
Yeah, he's 50 years old.
Grogu, right?
Yeah. So he was born at the same time that Anakin was born. So in episode 1, Grogu would have already been at the temple. He would already be about 11 years old.
Yeah. And then Order 66, and then and then the first Death Star explodes, and then the second Death Star explodes. Here we are.
Yeah, we still don't know where he was in Chapter 1 of The Mandalorian, because he wasn't with the Empire, he was with this kind of, like, mercenary group on Avala 7. So I still have questions. Now this kind of brings up more questions for me, like, what happened to the Jedi Master who had let him escape? What was he doing for 30 years, 30 years, in between episodes 3 and The Mandalorian? Like, what happened between Order 66 and that? So there are still questions that I have now. I feel like these last 2 episodes have kind of, told us a lot about that as well. About,
So moving forward, and then they talked about this background.
Mm-hmm.
And the key thing was like when the Mandalorian just... I need to stop saying this.
We really do. We're both terrible at it.
Alright, so Din Djarin. Din Djarin. So he goes, Grogu, and then Grogu just looks back and it's just cute. You know what I mean?
Grogu.
Oh. Grogu. Oh.
Yeah, it's good this episode because, like, you know, Ahsoka challenges Din because Din doesn't think that he's worthy. He doesn't think that he's worthy of, like, taking care of the child. But, you know, Ahsoka kind of, shows him that he is. You know, that he has he has a connection with the child that he can use. And by the end of the episode, he doesn't feel like he is. He still feels like a Jedi would do better than he would. But he also feels like, I feel like he also thinks that he can do better than he previously thought.
Mm. And also, and then going through the episode, he was quite mad about, like, he wanted someone to train Grogu.
Grogu.
I know what he means.
Grogu.
He's a Mandalorian. He is supposed to be opposed by the Jedi.
Yeah.
But there was a, like, emotional connection with.
I agree.
Between these two characters.
Yeah.
So moving on.
They go back to the city and then they.
In fact, so first of all, when Ahsoka comes on, like, onto the bell that just rings when she just fights, and then I just love the fight sequence.
Yeah, the way that she's shot and the way that she, like, moves through everyone, like, cuts everyone down. It's really you feel like she is this Jedi with years of experience, like.
Yeah.
It really feels like the perfect progression of her character. You know, like, you see how she fights in the Clone Wars, and then you see how that progresses, and then you see how she fights in Rebels, and I feel like this is the perfect kind of, like, it feels like an old samurai thing, where, like, this...
Oh, yeah, samurai.
Like she is the samurai who, like, liberates this town, and this is the kind of thing that you'd find in, like, an old, like, Japanese samurai film, which is, of course, what Star Wars is originally based off.
Yeah, I need to watch old samurai Japanese films because I'm quite interested in them, really.
Yeah, me too, definitely. So I want to talk about Thrawn. So when fighting the leader of the Magistrate, Ahsoka asks, "Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? Where is your master?" So if you've watched Rebels, you will know that Thrawn used to be Grand Admiral of the Empire. He's a Chiss, he's an expert tactician, and by the end of Rebels, he's lost in the unknown regions, and Rebels ends with Ahsoka and the character Sabine Wren going off to find Thrawn and Ezra, who are both missing together. So, what are you thinking about Thrawn?
I was just quite surprised that he's not nowhere to be found, because I did see him, like, in some episodes of Rebels, and I was like, he's the villain, but he's missing, so I'm quite interested where the story goes.
I personally think I don't want him to be in The Mandalorian. I prefer it to be in a Rebels sequel series. However, I think it would be interesting if Thrawn and Moff Gideon were against each other. You know, if they were actually, like, you know, if Moff Gideon actually didn't like Thrawn, because I feel like, you know, there are reasons. You know, it doesn't have to be that they are working together or anything, because they're both with the Empire. I feel like maybe they're, you know, gonna fight at some point.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Some fight. Maybe Thrawn will be used in another TV show, maybe.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So Ahsoka fights through her way in the camp, and then the really cool thing about it was, like, the soundtrack in this.
Yes,
soundtrack is just on point in this.
Literally,
I really loved it.
This go on.
So, like, when Din just comes back and then just saves everyone, the soundtrack, like,
it
old
kicks in.
Mandalorian theme, it just comes in, like, really, really hard.
What I'm appreciating the most about this season, this happened last episode. Last episode, when the X-Wing pilot was talking to Cara Dune, they actually played a version of the Resistance theme from The Force Awakens. And this episode, they play Ahsoka's theme at multiple points, and it was so so rewarding because like obviously the score is amazing and it does new things, but it's also like remembering, you know, it uses these established themes and takes them to new places. So like when Ahsoka first steps out of the fog at the beginning of the episode, they use Ahsoka's motif, and it's really, really cool. You know, you get it like all the time when she's fighting and when she's talking, and yeah, that felt really, really rewarding. You know,
must be for you then. Yeah,
definitely.
But she goes through the way, and then she got into the temple. But first of all, the cinematography when she was about to fight the woman,
yes,
was like a really old style, this like the samurai.
Yeah, again, the samurai imagery in this one was brilliant.
Yeah, like it was just like a calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the funniest thing about like while they're fighting the guard and Din just talks and it's just like, yeah, who's gonna win?
Yeah, right. That was Michael Bowen, who you may know as Kyle Reese from Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
He's also in Aliens.
I did not realise that.
Yeah, so that's him. I did think it was a waste of him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because as you said, you don't really know that it's him. He doesn't really do anything special, but hey, it was cool to see him in Star Wars.
Yeah, just like saying, who's gonna win?
Yeah, and you know, they have a cool little like standoff. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was like about to put his gun down, but then he had his primary.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. That's like very obvious.
Then just goes quickly,
Yeah, very, very satisfying there.
And then everyone gets saved. No one gets killed. I think. Yeah, and it's quite happy to see that the one of the people in the camp just bees the king. No, not the king. The mayor.
Yeah. They become kind of like the leader of the place.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, and then I was about to say Mandalorian, but now it's Din. So he goes back and grabs Grudo and
Grudo? You're all over the place. Grogu.
Oh my god. Grogu. Grabs Grogu and then just like, oh, can you take Grogu please? And then Ahsoka was like explaining about if there's like a huge emotional connection or something, I don't know, on the lines like that. And then I was like, she's talking about Anakin.
Yes, she has a line where she talks about Anakin, and that really that hit hard. That really hit hard. Like in Rebels, you know, like some of the best parts of Ahsoka in Rebels is her figuring out that Anakin is Vader and her meeting Vader again, and it is honestly some of the most like emotional content in all those shows, and it's great to see it kind of, you know, take a toll on her going forward, even if it's not explicitly said, like, my master became Darth Vader. Like, it's really cool that she says it, and it happens in such a way that it doesn't, you know, it's understandable for people who haven't seen it, and it, you know, but it hits hard for those who have.
Yeah, I've seen like between Ahsoka and Anakin, just yeah.
Well, I mean, you got anything else to say about this episode?
The episode wraps up, and then I just watched the credits.
Oh, the credits are great.
Yeah, just like the theme, and just like the art style, and
brilliant.
Hits you in the goosebumps. Oh.
Yeah, I am wondering, you know, at the end, so she sends Din off to Typhon? Typhon, yeah.
Get 3 months.
Why isn't ad playing? I'm so confused. She sends him off to Typhon, and what's cool about that is that in Legends that was actually the ancient homeworld of the Jedi.
Right.
And it seems like they're going to be doing. So she says that if Grogu goes to the top of the mountain, he can choose his own path. Do you? And she says a Jedi will come. Could this be Luke?
Maybe. Oh, maybe.
See, people are thinking this could be Luke. You know, they tested they've done Luke. They did a de-aged Mark Hamill in The Rise of Skywalker, so they could do it.
I know that Ezra from Rebels might be still alive, maybe? I don't know.
Ezra and Thrawn, as I said, are lost. So I don't think it will be Ezra. That would be very odd.
But it might be Luke.
That's interesting, because, you know, they de-aged Mark Hamill for The Rise of Skywalker in one scene. Like, there are things that can be done, you know?
Yeah, because there's full of surprises. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that could be possible, but it could be Luke, so... Yeah. Do you think will there be any surprising characters returning back for the last couple of episodes?
I really doubt it. There could be. We could see some of, like, obviously last season ended with, you know, where Cara Dune came back and Quill came back and IG-11 came back. So maybe this season will end and we will see Bo-Katan and Cobb Vanth again, but I don't think we'll see Ahsoka again. I'm kind of doubtful that we'll see another Jedi. I feel like, you know, what's left is probably going to be Empire stuff.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know.
It's just completely empty, really. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this episode was, like, awesome. There was, like, a lot of really cool things about the soundtrack, the story, and the background of Grogu. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's this takes it in different directions, and I think this is what this season's been doing really good at. I think my favourite stuff of this season has been how it's challenged the characters, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm all here for it. I'm loving it.
Yeah, and this is one of the best TV shows out there, just on Disney Plus, and it's cheap. And
yeah, this is a great
we all deserve it, but it's just like one of the best TV shows I've seen. So.
It is. This is definitely like the highlight of the year when it comes to TV. And if people haven't watched it, definitely watch it. And you know, you're buying Disney Plus subscription for it, so watch Clone Wars and Rebels whilst you're at it. You know, like those are really, really worth the watch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a lot to unpack in Rebels and Clone Wars, but if you watch like the right episodes and the right chronology,
yeah, you don't have to watch everything. Like, there's like 70 episodes. I sent you a list of like 70 episodes that you need to watch for Clone Wars. Rebels.
Whoever's interested to know about Clone Wars and Rebels, just have a look. Maybe in the description. Maybe Tom will put that there.
I won't. There's not enough characters available, but. Yeah, I won't do that, but
maybe, I don't know, no. Just look on the internet.
Yeah, just look on the internet, just watch it. You should watch all of Rebels, though. That's a different kind of show. It's not much of an anthology thing, but yeah, definitely worth watching. Let's now move on to our main segment. We watched the original Mulan from 1998, Disney musical, animated film. What do you think?
Yeah, we're good. Something just came. Mulan, right?
Mulan.
We're talking about Mulan now.
Yes.
Right. So, first of all, can we just start with like the animation style?
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good. Like
it
the
was
opening
so incredible.
Was pretty cool. Like, the Great Wall of China.
Yes.
Like setting up like
the image.
The films. Culture, knowing where we are really, and, the cute thing about like so after that scene, like the cute animation of the animals, like the chickens and
the animals are always cool. The dog.
What was the dog called?
I don't know. She calls it. She calls it like a little brother or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the dog though is cute.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really cute.
This animation did like some really interesting like new techniques, like. You know, towards like the end of the second act when the Huns charge the army on the mountain,
and And
that
it's
was
really
so incredibly detailed. They used new techniques for that, new digital techniques. You really can see like every individual like Hun on their horse with like the patterns in the snow. It looked great.
Yeah, and there's again what you said. Like, there's so much detail in this film.
Really is. Yeah.
There is, and I like about it, but it shows. I said like it shows the culture, like what they do, with male and female, like their own way of living. Something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's definitely engrossed in this kind of.
And the main thing about this film was like gender equality.
Oh
maybe.
Yeah, like it was so good how they did it. Like they didn't, they never like explicitly suggested that men or women, that one is better than the other. They had Mulan prove herself as an individual. I think they said it at the perfect time because at this point in China, obviously there's a lot of inequality, and you see that through the treatment of the women.
Like at the opening start, she was she wanted to do go somewhere, but then she had to do this makeup, dressing up as one of the servants. No, not servants. Maybe was it?
It was. I'm not exactly sure, but it was this ceremonial thing that she had to dress up as.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of she writes it on her arms, all the things she has to do, and it's like
remember what she has to do. So,
it's stuff like you gotta like speak when spoken to, and like stand up straight, and and she has to learn how to like.
It's kind of harsh, really, because they don't have like
definitely
much choice to do. So, but and the film just like it's like the central message. It's like do whatever you want, really. Just like be yourself.
Yeah, I agree. There's, there is a definite, there's definitely a family kind of, moral in here. You see like the, she wants to like bring honor to her family and make sure that her dad doesn't fight. And I think one of the best things about it is that there is a real good relationship between her and her dad. And then you see how he struggles when he is called upon to fight. He
tries to train, but then
he tries to train and he falls over in this kind of really
and you kind of feel like some sadness,
and you really see that he does know what he's doing. Like he has fought before. They say that, and you can see it in his. In the way that he tries to train, like he's done this before, but he's getting too old for it,
Yeah, and the film, is quite it's kind of realistic. You know what I mean? In it goes through a series of interventions. Like she goes to she got found out she was a woman, but then there was there was some comedy in it, you know what I mean? That's some comedy elements, but
I really enjoyed the comedy a lot. There are a lot of people criticize characters like Mushu, for some racial stereotyping. There are some cultural inconsistencies in this film, which I'm not too familiar with China or the era of China that this film presents, so I didn't see any of that. But I do understand it. However, I did think this film did really well with some of its comedy.
I did think it was what the critics thinks that they're trying to make fun. I don't know.
I think they make fun of the characters make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
I thought Mushu was hilarious. His hijinks throughout, but he also had his own arc. He wanted to prove himself, prove that he wanted. He wanted to be a real. What was it? It was like a spirit or something, a guardian.
Something to guide her.
Yeah, and then you've got her three friends.
Yeah.
Who start out as enemies.
That was funny.
They are like the main comic relief, and I think the whole "I'll Make a Man Out of You" sequence. You know the one I mean?
Yeah, I know what I mean.
Yeah, that was really, really fun, I thought.
Yeah.
And that was the most like.
Yeah, you can see like a massive like difference like when she was trying to dress up as to do something in that scene, and then they're like, "I'll make a man out of you," and then there's like a huge difference. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Definitely.
You see like a lot of people like what women think of men are like, but then what men think of women are like. You know?
Yeah,
you
have A Girl Worth Fighting For, which is a song where they all talk about the kind of woman that they'd want, and
yes.
it all builds, Mulan's feeling of insignificance. And it builds this point where Mulan feels, like really, where they feel betrayed by her, and she feels like no matter what she does, she doesn't, she can't, be seen or taken seriously,
Yeah.
which I think is, a really poignant message.
Yeah. What else?
I think this, the songs, like the music, was great.
I did not know. So before the voice actress who plays us Mulan is by I can't pronounce the name. I'm sorry.
Ming-Na Wen.
Sorry.
Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is an actor in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
She's also in The Mandalorian.
I did not know that. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, she's also in The Mandalorian last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, she's great. She's great.
Yeah, I thought she did really well. Crafting a sympathetic character.
Yeah, and well, like, look, here's the thing that I really like, that they brought like someone who can play the character and knows the culture. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I agree. It certainly isn't as whitewashed as a lot of other Disney films have been. Yeah, which is appreciated. But yeah, I thought the music in this film was awesome.
Oh, the music!
Like,
wow.
The songs themselves were great, but the instrumental score was like really powerful.
Yeah.
Like, "I'll Make a Man Out of You" was awesome. "Reflection" was also great. Like, it has some of like the most memorable Disney songs. Outside of maybe like Aladdin or Lion King, but it never restrains from showing some of the more dark stuff. You've got stuff like when they're singing "A Girl Worth Fighting For," and then they find like the remnants of a burnt town and a dead army.
Oh yeah,
like that was really, really like harrowing.
Really dark.
Like,
that just hits you like a train.
Like when like the captain of the army, I can't remember his name, but he finds like the helmet of his dad who is dead. Like that is like proper like intense,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of emotional as well. What the film brings out. And then what else? Oh yeah, so before we're gonna see the new one, which is coming out next week. So here's the things that we're sad about. Like, look, we haven't seen the new one yet, but we're just gonna see what the trailer just gives out. Like, what we're gonna talk about. First of all, we are angry that Mushu is not in this one.
Yeah, they got rid of Mushu, which is a very strange decision. I mean, they want to make it as real as possible, I guess, but he is a really like fun character, and
and
I feel like
the story, doesn't he?
He does. I feel like the story
arc of like a story, like
he
the
helps
spiritual guide to
like he helps Mulan along, and that's important,
Like that, he's like a better side character in this film.
Yeah, I agree. And there also aren't any songs in the new one.
Yeah. There's no songs.
No songs.
What the heck?
Yeah, I know this. I
used
thought
to have the songs
like
to show a different gender. Like different tender perspectives, you know.
I agree. Like, you know, the songs are really good for character. Like, the montage of "I'll Make a Man Out of You" was so good because it shows everyone, Mulan included, failing over and over again, and then you show them still getting back up and winning. And what I appreciated was it wasn't just Mulan proving herself to be a capable warrior. It was everyone. It was her 3 friends. It was the whole army. Like, by the end, it isn't just Mulan outshining everyone. It's the whole army. You know, they're working together and they are putting aside their differences. You know, they're all fighting at the beginning, and by the end, you know, by the end of "I'll Make a Man Out of You," they are all like, you know, they all have a mutual respect for each other and want to work together.
Yeah. Like, different, like, working together as a team and just putting things behind and,
Mm-hmm. You know, I really, really like that. I did think that the villain wasn't great.
What was his name again?
I can't even remember.
Yu?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, I think that's right. Some of these Disney, like old Disney films, have really, really good villains. Like, you think like Jafar and Scar. Like, you know, some of like the villains are really, really good. Like Ursula and like Maleficent. They've been like really, really like remembered in time. But this guy wasn't really much. He was just an angry...
Yeah, he's quite forgettable.
He was just angry. Yeah. There's literally like 1 or 2 lines about why he's so angry, you know, and there wasn't really much that I was like, oh yeah, I'm scared of this guy. Like, no, I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, not really much there, in my opinion, to, you know, make me kind of, you know, fear him.
But he's quite powerful, you know.
Yeah, he is. But he provides a pretty good... incentive. You know, he does move the plot along, and he provides a decent enough obstacle at various different points. I think the best part of the film was the well, not the best part, but, you know, one of the best parts was on the mountain. You know, like, you know, the army is terrified of the Huns, and that's like, you know, and Mulan does something that is like really commendable, and you get this whole sequence where they're running away from the avalanche, and she saves the captain's life, and then they save her, but then like in the process they find out that she's a woman and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool because, you know, there's betrayal in that, and there's also, you know, a feeling of like camaraderie.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
that was really cool.
So basically, about everything about Mulan, I've heard, well, the new one, I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things. I'm not looking forward to it. Well, this film is an hour and a half long, and the new one is pushing 2.5 hours. Like, they stretch this very simple story.
Really?
Yeah. Let me have a look. And they stretch this very simple story out into something that is, you know, like
quite long as Shawshank Redemption, maybe.
Right, so it's 115 minutes, so it's 1 hour 55, which is like so long for no good reason, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there is really no reason for it to have that extra 20 minutes.
Yeah. And what's that extra 25 minutes going to be?
I am not sure.
I'm thinking, you know, yeah, just like...
Like, obviously we haven't seen it yet, but like they could do good things. They could develop the you know, the villain. They could, you know, there are things that they could do that I would like.
I believe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. There's, you know, there are different things they could do.
We haven't seen the film yet, but if you have, in the comments, please tell us.
Yeah, please tell us your opinions, and tell us your opinions on the original.
Extra?
Yeah, it is like we would have watched it earlier, but it's like only coming out for free on Disney Plus. Like, you had to pay, and we're not paying.
Yeah,
like, it's like
not made out of money.
It's like $20. Like, it's $30. It's ridiculous.
You go into the movies, and how much is one ticket?
£9.
And that's great
for an adult,
movies, which is quite cheap to watch. You know,
yeah,
watch it on the big screen, and and at a reasonable price. But if you're gonna watch a movie that is 20 quid by yourself, that ain't it, Chief.
That sounds like a lot. Maybe if you have a family, but we do not. Well, no one that wants to watch Mulan anyway.
We do not.
We're alone. We're all alone. But yeah, I just want to say about the ending. I really enjoyed how the ending, you know, like there was an arc for all the characters. They eventually came to believe Mulan and, you know, work with her. And the ending was so good because she goes back home and she gives her dad the things that would bring honor to him, but he doesn't care. He just cares that she's alright. He gives her a hug. And I think that was like a really, really nice thing, you know? And I wasn't a giant fan of how she got with the captain at the end. I feel like that wasn't necessary. But and it ended with a really weird dance number. But, you know, many films do.
Yeah. But it's like every Disney film ends with like something like dancing, maybe.
It's a bit corny, but you know it's the end of the 90s.
A bit corny.
Little bit corny.
Corny.
How dare you, sir?
I said corny.
Oh, good. I thought you said the other word. Oh my god.
Not that word.
There are children present. I don't think there are children present. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. I hadn't seen this one before, and I really, really enjoyed it. I will be downloading the soundtrack and listening to it a lot.
Yeah, same as well when I'm working. So
yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's everything talked about. Let's talk about our weekly viewing segment. You got anything you watched this week, John?
So I finished Moon.
Ah, yes, Moon. Yes, we talked about that one last week.
I talked about it last week, but it's quite a deep film.
Yeah.
It just explores a bit about like serving like as a servant on the moon and just thinking about like humanity and just thinking out how much time you got on like 3 years and just so I would give it a 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 because of the soundtrack. The soundtrack, but it's quite hard hitting as well.
The soundtrack is great, but it's not on Spotify and it makes me very sad.
No!
I know. Don't cry.
Oh, it's just like Memento over again.
It's like what? Oh, Memento, yeah. I know, I've never had that problem before, but what are you going to do?
I don't know. But there is a way. If you just search up for something like download music, and then you put it in Spotify, local files, and then you got it.
Oh. Is that illegal?
Well, no.
Oh,
no.
Good stuff.
I don't think so because you're just listening to music really. So
good. Anything else?
And it's the soundtrack really. So
yeah. Anything else to say on Moon?
Yeah, the acting's quite good. The special effects is kind of out of date, but it also fits into the film. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Tom?
Well, let me tell you. I read, actually, so I finally finished my book that I've been reading for like 7 years. And I read House of M, which is a Marvel comic about, which is actually what WandaVision is going to be based off. It's about Scarlet Witch creates an alternate reality that all the characters wake up in, where mutants are the dominant species and humans are the inferior ones, kind of being hunted and spat on. And despite its obvious parallels to DC's Flashpoint, this was released 3 years after Flashpoint. It was very similar, but I really enjoyed it. I thought, the way that they flipped the whole narrative on its head was super interesting, and without spoiling much, I like how all the characters, reacted to everything, and and the emotional core of it. And can I just say, whilst I read it, I listened to the Avengers soundtrack, and it was like all the songs lined up perfectly to what was going on. I don't know if you listen to music when you're reading, but like the sound, like it always makes it so much better, and the music always lines up perfectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was great. I definitely recommend it, and definitely for when WandaVision comes out, if you're interested in getting some background on that, yeah, definitely read it. It's one of those that DC with Flashpoint is a much more personal story. Like at the end of the day, I feel like DC really gets those personal punches better, but I think Marvel has a better widespread kind of effect, or you can definitely feel a better widespread effect in House of M than you can in Flashpoint.
Yeah, and there was like a story, a comic that I have called Spider-Man Life Story. Yeah, it does have that emotional impact, but DC has that emotional impact and better driven stories.
I feel like DC have always been better at individual stories, and Marvel do better at like bigger stories. Not all the time, but that's kind of the general consensus that I have experienced. But yeah, I read it. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it.
How would you give it out of 10?
8.
8.
8. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Have you watched anything else this week?
I finished the TV show Defending Jacob.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Right. I hear that the ending isn't that good.
Yeah, I don't know what about the ending. I'm just a bit mixed, really. But overall, it's just about like the beginning, the middle. But I don't want to talk about the end because I'm not too sure about it. But what I think about it, it's a really good TV show. Yeah, it just goes through like what being accused and just going through like court and like having that feeling of anxiety and just don't know what you've done is wrong, but you've done something wrong, but you haven't done anything. Well, no, it doesn't make sense. You haven't done anything wrong, but people think you have. So
yeah.
That makes you feel like, oh no, you might have done it, but you hasn't done it. We don't know. But I like how it doesn't go to flashbacks about who that person was killed, like in the season. So I would give it an 8 or 9 out of 10. It's great. Good. But not as good as like one of the best TV shows out there. But yeah. But there was a surprising actor just in the TV shows. So yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, I haven't watched anything else this week. Have you watched anything else this week?
I've been reading a book called The Sailor That Fell from Grace with the Sea.
Okay.
Which is by Yukio Mishima, which is so this book is
The Sailor the what?
The Sailor That Fell from Grace with the Sea.
Okay, sure.
It is quite a short book. It's got 154 pages.
Okay, that is quite short.
That is like shorter than a comic book, I think.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the comic book.
But it kind of just reminds me of that. But so it's about it's written by Yukio Mishima, who's Japanese, and it's a Japanese literature book, and it explores through a band of 13-year-old boys who wants to show off their masculinity, like want to be like the dominant male, but so they do terrible, like horrible acts trying to show off. And I don't want to spoil too much of it, but so the sailor, so one of the boys, Niburu, his mother, is with the sailor, and the sailor and the mother just gets it on, just like being loving together. But the thing is that the rest of the boys sees the sailor as not as like represented as like masculine or anything to their ideology. So we're in the blood that they're going to do terrible acts or terrible things towards that sailor. So yeah, it's great so far, and the writing's really good. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, is that it for you this week?
That is from me this week.
Cool. So, once again, we don't have any emails, but please do email it in at outstimepod@gmail.com or contact us on Twitter, Instagram, where we're at outstimefilmpod. I am Tom the Boardman on Twitter.
And I am Comedy John 42 on Twitter.
And yeah, tell us your thoughts on The Mandalorian, on Mulan, on the news, any of that stuff.
And anything that you want to suggest us to watch or anything that you want us to do.
Yeah, next week we're going to be...
email it, comment, do whatever you want, all that jazz.
Yeah, do it all. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. We got some new subscribers this week, which is good because we haven't in a while.
Yeah, hello new subscribers.
Hello, hope you're enjoying it here. And yeah, next week we're going to be talking about Mulan. And then the week after, now this is depending on a couple things, but the week after we'll talk about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes,
depending,
Cyberpunk, baby!
John's very excited, as you can probably tell.
Yeah,
but
I don't care what people are saying, like, oh no, it's getting delayed. I don't care.
Right,
okay?
Cyberpunk
is coming out, and I'll be giving out my ideas
on
the first few hours of the game.
So, we're going to talk about it depending on A, if it does come out, and 2, if... if we both have chance to look, because I won't be playing it right away. I might look at some stuff online, and I know that you've pre-ordered it, so you probably will be playing it straight away.
Yeah, and I'll be talking about it.
Speaking of playing games, how have you enjoying bloody Batman Telltale series that you've now had for 10 weeks? For those of you who haven't listened that long, John borrowed a video game of mine 10 weeks ago, and still hasn't played it. Good stuff.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
So sorry.
It's fine. I gave it to you. So I gave it to you so you could play it. So I'll let you play it.
I'll bring it back to you then.
I tell you what. No, I want you to play it. But speaking of which, actually,
I just haven't got a chance.
That's all right. But speaking of which, I actually started watching. Obviously, I don't have a PS4. But I am interested in the Spider-Man game, so I started watching gameplay of the first Spider-Man game.
Oh yeah, what do you think of it?
I'm really enjoying it. I enjoy the music, I enjoy the acting, I enjoy and I feel like I enjoy like the kind of down-to-earth feel it has. I'd take a Spider-Man in New York game to any story to any like other kind of thing, like a Far From Home or a like a Homecoming. I really love the stuff in New York, and I think that's like it really nails some of the best aspects of Spider-Man as a character and Peter Parker. And if you took away a lot of the stuff, that would make a really good like story, like a film. It'd be really cool. But thank you for watching. I got another email. Thank you for watching.
Email. Who is it?
It's Oaxaca. They want me to book my Christmas to the max. Oh, Oaxaca's got some good food, man. That looks great. Looks tasty. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll talk about Mulan, the new one, next week. And anything else to say, John?
No.
No.
That's it. Thank you for listening in our podcast. I know this is on wait, when are we going to post this?
YouTube.
What day?
Oh, Sunday, tomorrow. So we're recording this on a Saturday.
So, thank you for listening. We are still doing Sundays, so if you're just wondering, that's pretty quick of uploading. So,
we're recording this on a Saturday, so if any big news drops, I don't know, we might come back and record some more for the big news, but who knows?
Yeah.
So without further ado, take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Okay. Goodbye.